My name's Josh Smith. This is my wife.
My name is Erica Smith.
The AC, that was the initial reach out just because we've dealt with summers here. You know, I grew up in the area. In my opinion, it's got progressively warmer and more miserable in the summertime. My wife's from Texas, and you know, it's always been a sticking point that they have air conditioning when they, you know, in their homes. By circumstance, she's been pregnant the past 3 summers or 4 summers. So it's been, you know, hot and uncomfortable, and AC was a really big to-do item, is something that we really wanted to get done. We got more than that, but you know, the AC was what we wanted to get done. It was actually late night Facebook. You know, my wife's from Texas, so she's been kind of complaining that it's been getting hotter and hotter. And so doing my due diligence, I just saw the Comfort Air ad populate on Facebook, and I reached out. You know, there's a lot of response as soon as you fill out the online form, but you get an immediate notification from the text message saying that your app's been received. What was nice is the next day, I got a phone call and a text and I think an email from the office, you know, central office there, wanting to touch base and get more information. So it was like immediately responsive to the initial reach out from me. So. The turnaround was about maybe 2 days. I think we called, or I did the app on a Wednesday night. They responded that following Thursday and had a tech out here on Saturday. Yeah, it was only a 2-day turnaround from me reaching out to actually getting a specialist out here to field our concerns. It wasn't a quick sales pitch. It was, what are you looking for? What are you trying to get accomplished with your home? Which was refreshing because, again, usually these situations, high pressure sales, you know, you feel really obligated to say yes or no and close the deal. But his initial inquiry was just like, what are you guys trying to get accomplished in the home? So that process was great. It was long, but that's because we were throwing everything at him. We were asking him about generators and ACs and water pumps, and we got into like outdoor awnings, and he was fielding everything. So, I mean, he really wanted to know, what can Comfort Air do for the Smith home?
He was just super nice and just listening to everything that we, like he said, threw at him. Like, he was just fielding everything.
I mean, he was an open book.
He wrote down everything. He's like, oh, let me write that down. Oh, let me write that down. So he was taking notes on everything from under-counter vacuums to the AC. Like, he was taking everything that we were throwing at him and either giving us an option for it or telling us, oh, well, we can work that in. So, I mean, he just went above and beyond what we wanted.
Yeah, I think a lot of times in these situations, like when you're going to buy an AC or a generator or a heat pump, like you get a lot of like numbers thrown at you, not price-wise, obviously you'll see that too, but you'll hear like capacities and tonnage and wattage, and he had that information available. I think he said he's got a couple degrees in engineering, so he was ready to spit that stuff out, but he was more so trying to size our concerns with the equipment. So if we had a concern about, is it gonna be enough, he could tell us, oh, based off of the math, here's what it is, but this is the product I would recommend. It wasn't more so like, oh, here's the tonnage, here's the wattage. I don't know what that stuff means. She doesn't really care as long as it gets cold. But he had that information available. He was paying more attention to like our concerns, so it was good. Our initial concern was AC, but he asked to walk and look at the systems that we have in place just to see what the house may need. You know, we want AC, what does the house need? So Colin took a look at the systems that were out there, and he noticed that both the water heater and the furnace were about 15 years old. So getting to that point where it's gonna start to nickel and dime you, and then, you know, when that water heater goes, it's gonna be a costly item because you could have possible damage. So Colin provided multiple packages, I would say. Here's the top of the line water heater with a not second rate, but a step down AC or vice versa. What are you guys comfortable with? If we wanted to just go with the systems in place that are now, that are in place now, here's what we've got. I think what really closed the deal was after we looked at the program or the package that he offered us, he said, you guys are able to shop this as much as you want. There's a money back guarantee we'll beat it by $100, I think it was, is what he said. It kind of put us at ease. We actually kind of pre-staged the conversation. We're not buying anything. We're gonna hear what he has to say, and then we'll call him in a couple of days so we can do our due diligence. But kind of had to step out of the room and say, look, like he's offering this, and there's the guarantee with that they will meet or beat. I think that we are in a good spot to where if we do want to shop, we can, and we know that Comfort Air is going to come back and do right by us.
I didn't want it to be like a long drawn out thing. I wanted it to they start and it's done pretty soon. We have a schedule here at the house. Kids go to bed at this time and stuff like that. So I didn't want to interrupt anything that we had going on here, and it didn't. It took about a week to get everything completed, and it's just been such a smooth process.
I consider it a good thing. They've put in some hours here. They will show up 8:30, 9 o'clock in the morning, and if we're willing and open to the idea of them being here, there was times they didn't leave until 10 or 10:30 at night. They wanted us to see the job through, and I really appreciated the commitment. I'm sure if there was a concern about, hey, we need to get people out of the house, we need to start shutting things down, they would have complied, but I really appreciate that they wanted to get it done, and they were relentless. They would just keep going, so. Yeah, I would say if you are concerned or kind of hesitant about reaching out and giving your information to the Clean Air ad on Facebook, we had a really good experience. They were very respectful with how they approached us. The concern was to evaluate what our house needs and wants were, and then to get it at a price point that we wanted it at. It wasn't high pressure. They did find multiple avenues based off the questionnaire I filled out. I wouldn't hesitate. It's something that you want to get done for your house, for your family. You owe it to yourself to at least get the ball rolling and see what Comfort Air can do for you.